If you're tired of waking up to an empty calendar, chasing cold leads, or relying on luck to fill your pipeline, then this is the video you've been waiting for. Because today I'm going to break down the exact 5 strategies we use to generate 30 qualified leads in just 30 days. And I'm not talking about theory, I'm not talking about generic advice that you should just post more content. I'm talking about proven funnels and acquisition systems that we've used to help generate over $10 million in client revenue. And in this video, I'm going to show you the organic content strategy that's working right now, even if you have a small audience. The paid funnel that can bring leads into your ecosystem for as little as $1 to $3 each. The webinar and the VSL systems that can literally fill your calendar in a single day, and the referral engine that turns your current clients into your best sales team. So if you want to stop guessing where your next client is coming from and finally build a predictable lead machine, get your notes ready, because I'm about to walk you through every single step right here, right now. Let's get started. Now, when it comes to actually generating qualified leads, most people complicate the whole process and they complicate the whole system. These are a few funnels that ECGROUP have run as a business for ourselves, but also our clients. And I'm not going to be just showing you tactics you can do. I'm going to be breaking down some real strategies here step by step, and the results, these different funnels and these different strategies, actually how they worked, how they converted, what were the results, what was the cash collected, and I've got real proof and insights. Now, the first way you can start, and this depends on your budget, where you're currently at, but we already know, and every single person who's watching this video is going to know this. Funnel 1 is organic content. Now, posting consistently across platforms to attract inbound leads is one thing you can do, and you can do this on Instagram. You can do it right here on Reels. You can also post, TikTok videos as well, and you can bring inbound leads for your business through here. You can post YouTube videos, which is more your long form, where it's, your 15 to 20 minute videos, your deep breakdowns, your strategies. And there's a few ways this can work. So here you've got your attention content. You've got your top of funnel. You've got your hook driven content that's going to grab attention. It's quite broad. It's got a big total addressable market. And that's your scroll stopping posts that get eyes on your brand. For example, I have a reel here, and this reel was specifically top of funnel. My main focus was, like I spent a lot on this video, there was a lot of animations, there was graphics, it was me, it was the team, there was music, and the engagement for this was crazy. My team, people I didn't know, were commenting and resharing and reposting. And from doing that, that is top of funnel content. That's the attention that we want to bring into our brand and our business. Now, once we've been able to bring all of that attention in, we don't just want a load of unqualified leads. We don't just want a load of people that just want to watch our content for the sake of, that was a great reel. We now need to educate these people that have came in from that top of funnel. So what we do is we have a blend of middle of funnel, and that's educational content and value content. And that's your in-depth breakdowns. That's your pain points where you can understand who your ideal customer profile is and create content that solves their problems and gets them wins and positions you as the authority and the expert in your niche or your market. And it's your it's your deep level, high strategy content. And you can do this in 2 ways. You can do that short form, and you can also do that long form. Now, here is where you want to speak to people who are problem aware. So people that know they have the problem, and that content is going to show them the problem that they have. And you're also going to have people who are solution aware. They know what it is they need to do, and they know what it is they need to put in place, but maybe they don't know how to execute it. And I think one of the most important parts with posting organic or short form content is that most people think that you need to get thousands of views. You do not. If you are in a niche, let's say, for example, let's say you do drop shipping, and you post you post a top of funnel video, and that video is, let's say it's a hook and it's you throwing one of your products at a wall and it breaks. That's going to get attention. And then maybe you come in and you talk. That's going to get attention. But then with all that attention, you're going to create middle of funnel content. It's not about vanity metric views. It's not about going viral. It's about that small audience of maybe 1,000 to 2,000 people that watch that content who really resonate with that and see you as the authority and the expert. So that's that's obviously one of the funnels, and that's one of the mechanisms you can use, and that's posting organic content across different platforms like Instagram, YouTube. And this is something I've done myself. I don't have a massive following. I have around 3,000 followers, and this really, really works, especially if you're someone who doesn't want to run paid ads, you're not in a position to run paid ads. Organic content is going to bring you your first few clients. Now, funnel 2, this is the profile-based funnel, and this is a paid, like a mechanism that you can run as paid ads, and it's what I call an indirect ad. So what I mean by that is where prospects will be on Instagram. This is a funnel I run, and from being on Instagram, they'll see an ad, and that ad will direct that prospect to your actual Instagram profile. Now, the reason why this works so well is because you're able to, cast a broad net over your niche, your market, whatever you're doing, and bring a lot of eyeballs to your profile. But the really, really good thing about this is you get to bring them into your ecosystem for a low cost entry. And what I mean by that is, inside your profile, there's a few things you're gonna have. You're gonna have your short form content that you post. You're also gonna have your long form content. Maybe it's in your bio, maybe it's in your story highlights. You're also maybe gonna post stories on a daily basis. And you can do polls, and you can also DM them. And the good thing here is you can see some stories I've put here. So this is a story I did the other day where I was talking about, how ECGROUP is going to be able to, take over the market, really separate ourselves. And you've got to think the people that are looking to work with me, or the prospects that are interested in what I'm doing, seeing my stories where I show proof, or, breakdowns or strategies, or take them to YouTube videos, I'm bringing all these leads into my profile, and then I'm using all the sales assets Instagram has, like reels, stories, whatever it might be, to then nurture them. Now, the reason why this funnel is really effective is if you do this properly, you can get a cost per lead of £1 to £3, which is very, very, very cheap in the market. Like highly affordable when running proven organic content as an ad. And I think a lot of people overcomplicate, like when running like ads for the profile visit funnel. All you want to do is take your organic content that has already performed pretty well. Maybe you've got an outlay that's performed better than the rest, and it speaks to your ICP. Just run it as an ad. Run it as a boosted ad, run it on Meta, do whatever you want to do. You can boost it, you can run it on Meta and as a visit profile. Either way, they can both work. Now, here you can see here the cost per lead. I have a client within the property space. Their daily budget was 105. They spent £90.54. They got 54 leads. And here you can see the cost per lead is £1.68. So they paid £1.68 for that person to follow their account. Here we've got another ad. They spent £32 was the daily budget. £24.59 was what they spent. And that got 30 leads, and their cost per lead was 82 pence, which is cheap. Now, the most important thing you've got to understand about the profile visit funnel is not every lead will be qualified. Think about it, guys, and be realistic. You're paying for a lead, which is 82 pence. You can't expect that lead to just come in and that lead's just going to give you 10 or 5 grand. It doesn't work like that. The main focus of this funnel is that if your content is dialed in and you have the sales assets and your profile is optimized. And what I mean by that, let's say if we go to my profile here, I've got what I've done, who I help, I've got proof in my bio. I've also got story highlights which say start here, client results 2, client results 3, more results, YouTube, and behind the scenes. My top 3 pinned posts is my story, and it's 2 client interviews beside them. Like so optimized to the point where if my dream follower or prospect comes onto my profile, that person is, the chance of that person jumping on a sales call with me is here compared to if my profile was not optimized. But this is a great funnel for someone who doesn't want to maybe spend 6 or 8 or 10K on paid ads, but wants to have a budget of maybe 2 to 3K to spend a month and has a very good cost per lead. Now, I want to run through some, statistics to look at. So example, let's say we have 100 leads come in. We want a lead to call percentage of around 4 to 5%. So that means we can get around 4 to 5 qualified book calls from 100 leads coming in. And some people will say, well, Dwayne, is that a great conversion? You are spending £1 for the lead. If you've ever run any type of funnels here, like a VSL funnel or maybe a webinar funnel, sometimes your cost per result can be a lot higher. So to only spend 82 pence for a reel, if you have a high ticket offer on the back end of that you're selling for £5,000, would you spend 82 pence for someone to pay you 5K? I'll let you boys answer that one in the comments. Now, I want to show you some results here. So Kieran and Kieran, 2 clients of mine, they spent £1,500 on profile visit ads on the first month of launch. From this, they collected £26,000. Luca spent 1,000 USD and collected $50,000 cash collected. So the return on investment from this funnel, if you have the right content and assets in place, is massive. Like I've seen Kieran and Kieran have a 10x ROAS every single month since they've launched from a profile visit funnel. So this funnel is great, especially if you're someone who's starting out and you don't want to spend 10K on ads. This will definitely work for you. Now, the next one we have, and you guys are definitely going to enjoy this, is we have the webinar funnel. Now, the webinar funnel is a great funnel for a few reasons, because it's such a great nurturing mechanism, because what we're doing is we're driving all of our leads to, let's say, a free masterclass, or pay £1, and it's going to be a 1 to 2 hour live training that educates and also converts at scale. So for example, this is a client that I was working with in buy-to-let, the property niche, and it was a masterclass. And with this masterclass, this was his landing page. So build your property portfolio without gambling your savings. Now, here is a very sophisticated market. If someone's going to do buy-to-let, they have to have 20, 30K to be able to get this property. So we wanted to, we really wanted to nurture the leads that came into the business, as it was a brand new offer. Now, just to run through this process and what happened. So this started from 0 and he had 200 signups. So around nurture, here we go. So around people, so they learn who you are, they learn what you do, you show all your results, and you're gonna do this in one session. So anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. And the good thing about this is that call to action on that webinar, and people do it in different ways. Some people at the end, if they're selling maybe a low ticket offer, they have people buy that low ticket offer and then they have an ascension model. Some people, the call to action is to book a call. Some people join a program. Me, myself, when I run it for our clients, usually it's to book a call with a client or the sales team. So with this funnel, the reason why it works so well is because we can bring so many people on at once, nurture them, tell our story, show results, all in one go. It's like taking 200 sales calls at once. Now, here, and I want to show you something that's very important. If you're going to run something like this, just so it kind of makes sense, is you want to test as many different creatives as possible. And you guys would have heard me speak about this before in some of my other content, is you want to test angles that people are problem aware, solution aware. You want to do results, you want to do your own results, you want to do client results, but you want to test 20 to 25 creatives for this webinar, because the aim is to get the cheapest cost per sign up. For example, if I have 5 ads that I test and the cheapest cost per result is £11, that's not bad. But if I had 25 different ads, now I'm in a situation where I've tested more creatives and I could potentially get my cost per result all the way down to £6, which if I know it's £6 to get a sign up and I spend, I spend £4,000, £5,000, my maths is not great, but I'm going to be able to get a lot more signups for a cheaper price. And just to show you how effective this really is, if I scroll down, Deanna and Shana ran a webinar last year in November. Just from that webinar, they was able to collect 92K cash collected. So the webinar is a great funnel for people maybe who are starting from 0 and they want to really get a pot of cash to be able to scale, or someone with a massive audience and they want to get that low-hanging fruit and nurture as many people as possible. You look at your Shelby Sapps, your Alex Moses, they do a lot of live events and live webinars. Like Shelby Sapp runs like 4 a week, 3 a week, 3 webinars every single week. So all those leads that are coming into the business are coming on an hour to 2 masterclass, hour to 2 hours masterclass, and they're consuming 1 hour to 2 hours off her, just talking her story, her philosophy, her sales, the client results. So think about it, guys. Usually if you do any type of funnel, someone will see your ad, book a call, that's it. or see your ad, go on profile, consume, 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 book a call. This person is spending 2 hours with you to know who you are and how you can help them. So webinar funnel is an absolute banger. Now, if I scroll over just here, now we have the VSL funnel. And this one's a little bit more direct. So, this is where we have an ad. That ad can go to a landing page with a video sales letter, and then someone can book a call, and that paid ad drives cold traffic or even warm traffic directly to that video sales letter. Now, one of the most important things about this is we want to be able to also test multiple ads to lower the cost per book call, and continuously optimize for the cheapest cost per result. I see a lot of people run a VSL funnel and spend money, and once they've done that and it doesn't work, they stop. The VSL funnel is all about optimization. You're going to test the headline. Once you test the headline, you're going to test the VSL. You're going to split test the VSL. You're going to split test the questions that you have on the form. You're going to do so much testing in this funnel. It's not just about testing it and it not working and you leaving it. It's about optimizing and seeing what works so you can get high conversion. For example, this is a webinar funnel that we ran ourselves, and we split tested this. Scale your coaching business to consistent 50 to 100K months using a proven growth system built to eliminate burnout and guesswork. Now, obviously, we created this headline from taking all the data points from our sales calls and seeing what our ICP wanted. And we tested this against another headline, which was speaking specifically more about being able to get cheaper leads and higher conversions. Then this VSL is going to cover a few things: the pain points that the prospect has, the unique mechanism, the solution, and the call to action to book a call. And you can see here just below, we've got an application that person can fill out, and that's where you can qualify the prospect, make sure you're taking calls with people that have high intent. And one of the most important things here, and depending on, how tech savvy you are, or, if you have like a marketer in your business, there are a few things you can do to really make this work. So once that person books a call, they can go over to a thank you page. That thank you page has a call confirmation video. You want to have your SMS follow-ups. You also want to implement maybe a strategy called the Hammer Them strategy, where everyone that books a call that is qualified, you can train your pixel, and you can also retarget those people that book a call. And the powerful thing about this is you can have objection handling, client results, everything is possible, and you can retarget that person who's booked with your organic content and have an email sequence on the back end. So what you're able to do there is you can really warm leads up by the time they're about to jump on a call with you. The VSL funnel is a great funnel. I always say to people, start with this funnel as well. But if you're going to test something like this, if you optimize as you go and don't quit, this is a funnel you can absolutely print with. I've seen clients we work with do 70, 80K per month with VSL funnels, and it's literally one VSL and it just books calls on demand every single day. I'm talking 10 to 15 calls a day. And last, but definitely not least, we have referrals. Now, the most important thing about referrals is that a lot of us focus on new clients, but we don't understand that the clients we already have that have already got results and already had an amazing experience working with your business and your company, who do you know that is as motivated as you were when you first started working with me? That is a question you can ask straight away, especially as soon as someone in your business gets a result. You literally want to go to that person or have some type of sequence or follow-up or campaign where if a prospect in week 3 is going to take their first sales calls and they've never taken a sales call before, from this, you can go straight away. Hey, Efwa, you've took your first couple sales calls, you've closed your first deal. Who do you know that's as motivated as you that could get the same results? Oh yeah, I know a friend. So now what you're doing there is you're able to actually use your current customer base to go and get more clients. I bet if some of you was to go to some of your clients right now and ask this question, you'd probably sign another 2-3 clients and you would have another 30 leads by the end of a month. And you can do different type of, reward for referrals. You can offer $200 or $500 for every referred contact who joins and pays. I had a client I recently signed, and as soon as she signed, she made 7K literally within a week. She sent me 2 people over. I took 2 more sales calls just because I asked her the question, hey, you've done really well. Who do you know who's as good as you? And the way you position this and build people is when you're saying, who do you know who is as good as you, who would get this result, that person takes that as a compliment because they can see that, oh, I've done really well. I know Jason. Jason would actually really benefit from this, and I'm also going to be rewarded for this. So your actual clients become your own sales team, which reduce your cost to acquire that customer as well. Your best leads come from your happy clients. They're pre-sold, they're pre-trusted, and they're the lowest cost to acquire. And referrals work really, really well. And hopefully if you've watched these videos, you can see the different methods in play to be able to get 30 qualified leads in the next days. And if you're in the comments and you've tried any of these strategies before or you've struggled, leave some comments down below. I'd love to speak to you guys and see what your experience has been with some of these funnels. But just to show you how effective this can be, I actually have a video just here for you guys where me and Luca actually sat down. He did 0 to 50K cash collected in 30 days, starting with only 600 followers. Brand new coaching offer, actually implementing one of these funnels. To find out which funnel that Luca actually ran, click on this video. And as I always say, guys, I'll catch you in the next one.